there were, two schools of thought. One, and this has to do with the Pannun incident in the US. One was that the US and India would compartmentalize this problem and deal with it in isolation, and everything else would continue. All the other work would continue. And the other one was that it would actually affect relationships. Can you give us a sense of how the investigation committee's work is going?
I agree with you that there are two schools of thought. One school of thought is Narendra Modi will never succeed and should never succeed. And if something, any problem, this is the end of it and it's going to never recover from it. So there is a kind of a professional pessimist school. Then there are the practical guys like us who have a good sense of the world, whose job it is to deliver, and we keep at whatever we're doing. The problem is also that, we think it will not, that there will be problems, sometimes disguises, we wish there are problems. And in the case of America, there's a latent, there's a hangover from the past as well, There's always been a body of, there's a certain ideological...
There's always been distrust for one section.
For one section, okay. That section, by the way, also has a problem with the current Prime Minister of India and the current... So the two kind of come together. So look, in the case of the Pannu episode, the Americans brought to our attention certain data points, okay. The data points were specific enough, serious enough for us to say, okay, it warrants us investigating it, because it wasn't just the implication for them. We also in those data points assess certain implications for ourselves. So I think that is going on. But beyond that, is there anything I would like to say in public? My answer is no, I would not like to say in public.
So while we are on the Pannu issue, I would want you to talk about the allegation that was made by the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau last year in Canadian Parliament, where he virtually accused the Modi government of orchestrating the murder of the Khalistan terrorist, that is Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Mm-hmm. Now, they have already arrested people over there, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, but there is no evidence per se right now to link India. Now, the question is, what does the Canadian Prime Minister trying to do when he actually tries to sort of, go after a relationship, bilateral relations, by invoking issues which do not exist or for which there is no evidence?
Shishir, here is the problem. There can be issues between countries, okay? I mean, it's not unknown. If I have an issue vis-a-vis country X, I would either go to that country and say, evidence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, please give me your view on it. Okay. Or I would say, I have investigated it and now come to a point where I think you have something to do with it. Okay. In this case, actually we are saying neither. We have not been given anything specific to go on, which we can say becomes a basis for our own investigation. Nor, to the best of my understanding, because even now, even these arrests of whoever, there were some people living in Canada, who have gone there and we have seen the Canadian system has been obviously very lax in porous, like call it what you will. I mean, there's clearly the diligence, the oversight of who comes in, but this is a problem they're going to face. Okay. So we haven't seen, to the best of my understanding, if you look even at the press conference out there, they are still in presuppositions. It is, we think somebody connected with India may have something to do with it. So we are still after, it's now getting to a year from when Prime Minister Trudeau said what he did. But we are still very much at the level of suppositions, inferences, imputations. So I
No
have
hard
no
evidence
choice.
has been produced.
I have no choice but to conclude
So
that
then
there is
why-
actually a my answer to you, I think there is a political agenda at work, that today he and presumably, I mean, his political constellation see some advantage in pointing fingers at us, in creating a certain I would say narrative, and they think, I assume, that they will get some political advantage out of it. Now, I am also conscious of the fact that I think they are reliant on some other parties for support in Parliament, and I think some leaders of those parties are also stoking the fire. So, frankly, in a way, I would say the relationship has become a victim of Canadian coalition compulsions or political football or whatever, call it what you will.